Hello YouTube wise people, coming at you today on a Thursday with a FUT Market Watch video. Was going to have this up yesterday, but I had made a recording and halfway through my roommate and his uncle came home, so it really didn't make sense. And then that night, just got caught up watching that Juventus Monaco game. What a game it was. Good for Juventus. I am in Milan and all of the Italians were going crazy. It was a good time. So we're going to move forward here in a sec, but just a reminder for a FUT Market Watch. What I do here is I'm going to show you guys some stuff using FUTbin and FUThead as well, talk about some general market advice, cover some ones to watch, and then just some trading and investment tips as a whole. So strap in here, guys, and we're going to head over to FUThead right now. All right, so here we are, guys. On FUThead with the Team of the Week 32. So this was last week's Team of the Week, and then I'll cover this week's Team of the Week in a second. But this Team of the Week was stacked. Look at that, 96. Messy. I mean, stacked compared to this Team of the Week at least. But we got some sick players on the bench too. So the best players to trade for this week, I'm thinking, are this Balde. I mean, Kita is doing really well. You might want to be careful with Kita and Kruse as well, because they might get team of the seasons. Those are cards that you're going to want to be careful with going forward, because those team of the seasons are just around the corner. But I will cover some team of the season in a second. Okay, the next players that are going to be really good for squad builder challenges are this Jimenez right here and this Gonzo. They are super slow, and Jimenez is not in the position that most people would desire. As a center back, this card would be worth so much, especially with that great leak to Diego Godin. And they're right on that requirement range for the informs that you want to see, like that 84 or 85 overall squads. Although lately, EA has been doing that, where the 81 and 82 informs are worth something, especially with the team of the tournament packs that just came out. So Raul, maybe, because he has got slow pace and no one is going to want to use him. Looking at the bench here, not really anything I'm seeing else here. These players are all going to be like Martial, Ter Stegen, and Immobile are going to be desirable. And these guys are just and they're not even that high rated for squad builder challenges. But a few good players to trade down here are this Cabot, I don't know how to say his last name. He's French, so hopefully I'm saying it right. And these three French guys are just really solid silver inform options. I picked up, invested in a couple of him for less than 7K. Cabot right there. He was going for 10K at one point, but I was able to snag a few. Just really solid options. Although this guy's in the Domino's League 2, or or whatever how you say it, he is really solid player. Definitely all around well-rounded midfield. So go ahead and be on the lookout for him. All right, guys. Now we'll move on to this week's Team of the Week. I'm gonna try to keep this video kind of quick. Got some plans later today. I head out to Madrid tomorrow as well, so that should be fun. Yeah, really looking forward to that trip. It's going to be the last little trip of my study abroad. I will be back soon, and I am excited because I have a big series that I want to bring you guys. So, looking at this Team of the Week, there's definitely some good players in here. I like these type of Team of the Weeks because they offer a lot of informs and position players, and who doesn't like having an all-inform team that looks pretty sick? And really some nice players in here. I mean, that Khan is, of course, really solid. James Rodriguez was nice in there, and on the bench, we got a couple good guys, but all right, I'll stop dragging on and give you some advice for once. Geez. So this Team of the Week, the best players that I think are going to trade during the week, I like to trade silvers or bronze during the week. And so this Rudiaz right here, as well as this Strakosha, these two players are probably the best to trade. I mean, 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot here, and I love myself some Aurelia anyway. Shout out to Marco. So we're gonna have to pick him up in one shape or the other. And then Strakosha here, League one of the really good bronze keeper as well. Fun nationality, I should say. Had a really good performance. I watched that game, Roma versus Lazio. Really solid time. Boyce here is kind of a good shout for that, but his pace is really just letting down, so I don't think that his price can rise too high. All right, looking at the rest of the team right here, if we're going to continue talking about building off the squad builder challenges I was mentioning last time with Jimenez and Gonzo being good for that, Bergstaller and Gomez are good for that this week. Bergstaller is in the Bundesliga, and there are a lot of really good inform strikers that people might like more than him, although that 88 physical down there is really interesting. 5-star weak foot's good too, but he's still on the lower end of good cards you can pick up in that league, at striker at least. So Andre Gomez over here as well. So he is a really solid player, and this card would be, again, a really nice set in his original position as center mid, but he's a right mid here, so no one's really going to want to use him, so his price is not going to be as high as it usually is. Don't get me wrong, he's still a Barca player, so his price might be up there, but it's not going to be that bad. All right, and then finally, the last two guys I'm going to give you, squad builder challenge-wise, Popov here, not going to be rated that, or not going to be that expensive, so that's a good shout as well just to trade with, or if you're trying to trade a player whose price is going to be pretty stable below 20K eventually. Pereira over here, he is a right mid, and he's a pretty beastly right mid. He's going to be a good one to trade coming into the future as well. And then this Horn, depending on if he is kept low, if his price is below 20K, I'd recommend picking up a few of him, because once the team of the season drops, I'm expecting, and it's most likely, that EA are going to drop some of a team of the season like guarantee pack or whatnot, and that's going to require some relatively high informs, and Horn right here is a good shout, and all the other informs right now are kind of high, but I'm about to get into that in a second. Right here, we're going to switch on over to FUTbin now, show you guys some graphs. So this is the index 100. So this is about the market in whole. And you can see here, so this just follows the price trends of the market, just like overall prices. And it's pretty low right now because besides special cards such as your informs and whatnot, the market, other prices are cheap. Look at, I mean, I think that a Cristiano Ronaldo is less than 1 million coins right now. That shit didn't happen until at least July or August usually in past FIFAs, but it's got a little bit of a resurgence coming on. I'm sorry that I only do Xbox because that's what I trade on as well, but I'm pretty sure the PlayStation market is in a similar gear. Now we're moving over to the special market. This is another good indication, and this is what you want to see in the special market right now. We're in a little bit of a lull, so this can be a good time to buy back your investments. I know a lot of people cashed in on the team of the tournament, what I did myself, and right now I'm waiting for inform prices for players that are above like 83 informed to go down back into that 12 to 17,000 coin range. Right now they're up like almost above 20K for most of them, and that's a little bit too expensive for me, but now that this market is going down, as you can see with the special card prices, it is looking good for us traders. And we're moved to the one to watch, and look at this market, guys. This market is tanking, and the reason it's it's already pretty much tanked, and the reason that it's stable out now is one to watches are going to be pretty useless come team of the season. You're going to want to, we're taking gambles right now if you're a one to watch investor, because there's only 3 games left in the BPL, so definitely sell those guys at any chance you get, any hype. So be on the lookout for that. Turn your notifications on your phone or whatnot if you can't watch all the games, because you're going to want to sell those guys into the hype as soon as you can. Players that are in the Serie A or the Bundesliga, and I think even maybe the Russian league, they have 4 more games, so you got a little bit more time, but at the same time, anytime you get a chance to sell these one-to-watch investments, go ahead, because there might be a little bit of a requirement for them. I could see maybe for each team of the season, a squad builder challenge where they require a special card or like a one-to-watch from that league. So like if the BPL team of the season is out in packs, if you want to get a guaranteed BPL team of the season player, you'd have to submit a BPL one-to-watch, but that's just assumption. And I'm not really banking on that. So if you have a shot, sell the one to watches. But I'll still give you guys a couple of good options of those to trade. Legend market here is dipped pretty low. Right now is a great time to buy legends. I mean, Zola, I was looking at his price, is less than 150K, and this is, again, something that's ridiculous. This type of stuff didn't happen until late in the summer, excuse me. But we are going to, I mean, I'm just telling you guys, if you guys want to invest in legends, add them in your FUTchamps league. I mean, I cannot see them going much lower because I personally don't think they can, but I'm not necessarily think they're going to go high, but at the same time, right now, go ahead and buy your legends. Their prices are super low. All right, we're going to move into some one to watches that I kind of recommend. So you want to invest, if you're going to invest, you're going to want to invest guys that have high upside, such as this Mali. I've covered it in pretty much every single one of these FUT market watches. He's got an 83 inform, which means if he gets another inform, it's going to be 85, and this card's going to jump, and it's going to be great. He's got that 4-star, which is reliable, or which is desirable, and he's in the Bundesliga, which is good, a good league. He's got a few more games left than the BPL and whatnot, so go ahead and invest in him. His price is pretty stable right now. I mean, it's going to go down a little bit as less games go, but if you're feeling lucky, he's a lower cost one to watch in that league, especially. And Tep, or however you guys want to say it, he came back from injury Another Wolfsburg player. The issue with Wolfsburg is they're just not doing well right now. So, I mean, maybe if they can kick into gear these last couple games, they get some informs and whatnot, but they kind of need it. Again, he just came back from injury. He's got that pace right there. If he gets an inform, he's going to be looking really solid as a left mid, left wing option in the Bundesliga. And that four-star is desirable as well. And his price is tanked a little because he's been injured for so long. Giuliano here, another one of those guys that has an inform. If he gets he's got a team of the tournament group stage, and if he gets another inform, it's going to be like 87, and for a 5-star skiller, that will be ridiculous. He is definitely going to get he's definitely got a shout to get team of the season. I don't want to throw these definitely's out there, man. I'm just throwing out these absolutes, and they can come back to bite me in the butt. But he is a good shout of a player that you might want to invest in. 5-star skills at 84 overall. Anyways, will be fun. So just pick up a couple of them. If his price is not going to drop much lower than 23, or definitely not going to drop much lower than 23. So don't worry about that. He's just got a solid card and be fun to play with, and he's got a lot of upside as well. All right, moving on to the Serie A here. I got a couple options here. Deulofeu has played really well for Milan, even though they've been a little inconsistent. They've had a bad run of form these last couple games, but if someone is going to get an inform on this team, it is Deulofeu, and there's a few games left, and he's got a good shot to make it, and I do not see him getting a team of the season, so this card could still hold its value well. All right, another couple players here. Gagliardini, he is one that if he gets an inform, it's going to be 82, and this guy definitely deserves an inform. He's played really well, although Inter themselves are on a terrible run of form. The two Milan teams just being real inconsistent. Still fun to go to the games every now and then. San Siro is a great stadium, but the reason I'm talking about him is he's cheap, and I know that I told you guys to be wary of this, but if you can pick him up for lower than like 1350, you're not going to be losing many coins on him. Especially if in the future there's a squad builder challenge that requires something to do with Gagliardini. So if that's the case, his price is not going to jump that much lower, and you're not going to be losing a lot of coins if he doesn't get an inform. And lastly, we're going to look at Saponara over here. His price is up a little bit higher than this. I would not pick him up for more than 15K, but he's another one that he doesn't play necessarily too much for Fiorentina, and another team that's having a little trouble with being consistent. But if he does get an inform, he's going to have a pretty nice card. So I do recommend looking at those three guys if you still want to invest in one to watches, but I don't necessarily recommend that. All right, just to cover a last couple bits of trading advice or whatnot. Again, this is a start to buy back your investments before team of the season. We are only going to have like a week in a lull period to buy back your informs or whatnot. So that is something that's should be on the forefront of your minds. As well as I'm having a really good time, or a really easy time, with some silver trading. Here, I'll show you guys nope, this is something else. But here we go. Right here, this is some players I've been trading. I've had some really easy time just going through the market, picking up all these guys for 300 coins, 250 coins on open bids, listing them up overnight. Really solid method. I'm going to try to get a power hour out to you guys soon. That is the last thing I'm going to touch on. You guys voted for that in the polls on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, go ahead there. I try to interact or whatnot. But you voted for that on the poll, so I'm going to try to get a power hour soon. See that this video is already 13 minutes. That's a little bit longer than I wanted, but going forward, I'm not going to be able to put out as much content as I want. I have finals coming up, and I have a buddy coming in town too, so I'm going to be a little bit preoccupied, but definitely still look out for the marquee matchups. The FUT Market Watch, though, might take a hit, but I'm still going to try to deliver content to you guys because you guys have been killing it with the support lately. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to push to 200 subscribers by the end of the month just because I got a big series coming when I get home that I'm really excited to deliver to as many people as possible. But without further ado, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know if I missed anything in the comment section below, or if you have any tips or tricks yourselves, but most importantly, stay wise.